Hello everyone and welcome into the channel. My name is Brent and welcome to Brent Investing. In today's video, it's been quite a while since we've last chatted. I had been taking a look at my channel here and had been commenting back and forth with a few subscribers, viewers out there, and it had been nearly 2 years since I last posted on the channel. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and cover 5 different areas to kind of catch up as far as number 1, where have I been over the last few years? Am I still invested? Where am I invested at? How's the journey been overall? And then current goals going into 2025. So if this is your first time here, or if you've been here in the past and are currently subscribed, I really appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out. And with that said, be sure to go down below, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So where have I been, right? So here, my last video that I posted on the channel, it shows 1 year ago, but when I go ahead and actually click on in the video, the last time that I uploaded a video was back on May 9th of 2023. Here we are, February 2025, 3 months away would put us at nearly 2 years since I posted up on this channel. So roughly a year and a half, 2 years ago, I kind of decided to kind of do a pivot and stop posting financial content, because financial content was great. You know, everybody should have knowledge and information and kind of keep up with, their finances, right? But I also wanted to kind of pivot. So at that time, I have my son who's now 9, my daughter who's 5. They began kind of playing more games such as Minecraft and other games. So I kind of had an old existing channel that I had previously used for programming, and I rebranded it as a sort of gaming channel, and I started creating content around gaming. So I was posting Minecraft related content because I played a lot of Minecraft with my son, my daughter. They'd want to start up a server, so if I was doing this to kind of learn how to do it and set it up with them, I figured, why not monetize one of the hobbies? Anytime you have a hobby, if there's a way to monetize it, I always feel you should try. So I went ahead and started creating content over Minecraft, World of Warcraft Hardcore, programming basics with Unity. It's a programming platform, and releasing different applications and helping others program and do stuff of that nature. So I had been working on that channel probably for a good year. In that time frame, I basically full-time streamed Monday, Wednesday, Friday on that channel, either streaming Minecraft, World of Warcraft, or some other stuff, right? So I have a ton of live content that I had done over the past years, just kind of keeping up with that. So that was basically 2023 to 2024, early 2024. So actually, yeah, early 2024, I was out hiking with my family and going downhill, wet, muddy. I slipped, I fell down, and I ruptured my right leg. So my quad muscle, I wasn't able to walk after surgery for about 3 to 4 months. It was a slow build-up process to kind of get back into walking, getting back into the office, and kind of going through my rehab. So now I'm a bit more functional in terms of being able to kind of walk around, do more exercises. So I've been back at my computer once again, kind of wanting to kind of get back into the gist of it as far as creating content, either here on YouTube through my investing channel, my gaming channel. I run a website. I still continue to invest, and there's other miscellaneous stuff out there, but I just kind of fell out of the social media area. Now, I think that covered where I have been. Am I still invested? Yes. Still invested in the markets in terms of where I had been previously. I'm still over on M1 Finance. I still have accounts over on Merrill Edge, and we still have accounts over Fidelity. High yield savings accounts are SoFi and Wealthfront as my main 2 platforms. If you guys are interested in checking out either of them, I have affiliate links down in the description below. Right now, I use SoFi for my personal checking and business checking. It's still a sole proprietorship, so I kind of run it as myself, but it offers 3.84% APY on your high yield savings. So it's really nice to kind of have, cash for my real estate business just kind of sitting there for whatever happens. I can't, I have to have it available, but it's a good place to kind of have it in cash for that available where it's still earning some sort of a return. So still use those platforms. There'll be links in the description down below if you guys would like to check that out. Still heavily invested over on M1 Finance, Merrill Edge, but where am I invested at? So those are the platforms that I'm invested in. And then how's the journey been so far over the past 2024, 2025? It has been a pretty bumpy ride. And I will go ahead and kind of go over some of the charts. Sorry for the blindness here. We'll kind of cover some of the areas. Recently, I kind of got back into making some money moves as of January 2025. The market, I even, started watching a little bit more closely. Usually, market is passive. My kids are in the background. You can probably maybe hear them screaming, but they're playing normal kid behavior. I recently started posting up some stuff because I'd kind of been watching the market more, kind of eyeing it as far as what could be transitioning here. And I kind of posted it here. The S&P 500 is looking to be in a descending triangle pattern. Do you agree? Disagree? And I kind of posted a little snippet here where the S&P 500 had actually trended down, broke below the 50-day moving average at 581, breaking that 593 strong point. So it had hit a peak of $610, $611 and didn't quite make it. I forgot what took place here mid-December, but dropped down the market pretty high, didn't quite recover to retest those highs, fell down at a lower peak. So it started kind of descending and never quite making that full recovery. So right around $581, I actually exited the S&P 500 at that time, thinking that, hey, we could actually have a rundown, now that we've broken below the 50-day moving average, and the next support line could be in the 570s, 560s. So I went ahead, sold out at 581. I did end up putting a limit buy for 576, I believe was my point. It opened up Monday on January 28th or something like that, so somewhere around there. My limit buy triggered. It purchased the X amount of shares at 575. 575 and some change. That was only roughly like a $6 or $7 difference, but in that time frame, when you're working with hundreds of shares, that can make up a difference of a couple thousand, a few thousand. So that did play a very nice little difference there. And then as of early June, mid-June into February, I've sold a couple call options. Strike prices around 607. Those did not trigger on my S&P 500 and actually had fallen for a short bit too. So I was able to sell some call options and then buy them back really cheap, making about 75% of my premium. And then as it ran back up to about 607, 610 at this point here, I sold some more call options at that peak and then rebought it back down. So I made a couple thousand in premium just by selling and rebuying my call options during January as well. So yeah, still on the market, still kind of taking a look at, will we continue to move higher, or will this be the point where, I don't honestly know if the market will kind of have a bit of a rundown. I would really like to see the market burn off a bit and cool off. It's been a while since we've really had any big dips, but kind of moving on. So the last thing here I wanted to cover, and then current goals into 2025. So recently I started posting some more content out there. Okay, I recently started posting some content here. I kind of, as of New Year's, I hadn't really picked up a whole lot, but I picked up some term life insurance. That was something I kind of transitioned to. Hadn't used any sort of insurance for myself for quite a while, since the military times, but I had been kind of looking and deciding between term life insurance, whole life insurance, or index universal life insurance. And term life insurance, for the price point and what it offers, just makes the most sense when you have multiple mortgages. You are the main breadwinner. If my wife takes care of the kiddos at home, and as we just wanted to kind of have something that would be very inexpensive, but would still cover a lot of the costs if for whatever reason. So I'm hitting that point now in my life where, like, hey, I'm going to be 40 here shortly in the future. I want to make sure that I just have that sort of insurance there, right? And then another money move, kind of looking at the 2025 as far as goals and planning. I have been on Merrill Edge after moving out of Robinhood back in 2018. So I've been on Merrill Edge now for roughly 6 or 7 years. in that time frame, I've consistently asked them, the high yield sweep account that Fidelity offers, that a lot of platforms offer, there's no such of that over at Merrill Edge. Also, they don't offer any fractional shares. I've asked them over the last few years, hey, are fractional shares coming? They've always kind of replied back to me saying, hey, yeah, it's something that we're considering, could be releasing here in the next upgrade or update. But here we are several years later, none of that has kind of happened. And I really do like fractional shares, being able to have all of my money invested versus, I may not be able to buy that whole share of the S&P 500 SPY, or I may not be able to buy BTI, but I still would like to have my money working for me maxed out as far as my investment capital. So I had been looking at moving from Merrill Edge, Robinhood, M1 Finance, and other platforms just all over to Fidelity. But when I was taking a look between Fidelity and Schwab, I'm going to blind you guys here for just a second. Schwab actually has a referral bonus for people that were referred by friends. So here, you get $1,000 when you deposit $500,000 or more, $500 if you deposit $100,000 to $500,000 roughly, $300 and $100. So if I were to open up an account here in the short term, just for a few months, right? I'm kind of testing platforms, and you should always kind of do this early on in the year or throughout. Unless you really like your platform, I've now kind of seen that I'm kind of unhappy with Merrill Edge. I like some of their tools, but some of those other platforms have those same tools and have more access. So I might open up 2 different accounts, one for myself, one for my wife, deposit enough to kind of get that $500 between each of us, right? That's $1,000. I don't want to deposit $500,000 into just my account, and then not be able to deposit $100,000 or more into hers. So I figured we could both deposit, open up account over there, kind of test out the waters, and get $500 each. That way, fairly easy. $100,000, not too bad there. In terms of the comments, when I kind of asked this question in the what do we call this? Our post. Yeah, in the posts, I had some feedback from InfoSec Seeker. He also had suggested taking a look at Robinhood. And then while taking a look over at Robinhood here, let's go bring up this. I think I had just had it up. But Robinhood Gold is $50 a year if you buy their yearly plan versus I think it's like $5 a month. So you buy Robinhood Gold for a year. They offer a 4% annual cash sweep account. I believe Robinhood also offers fractional shares. And one of the other things here, let me go back on this tab, was that they offer an IRA match. So the IRA match is a 3% on annual contributions to Robinhood Gold, or 1% without. So essentially, if you're paying $50 for the year for Robinhood Gold and you're able to deposit $7,000, that is $210 that they will provide you as a match for your contributions for the IRA or Roth IRA. Also, if you have gold subscription and you do some sort of a rollover from an existing IRA, like an IRA transfer, old 401k, gold subscribers get 2% on any IRAs that they transfer over or old 401ks into Robinhood until April 30th, 2025. So they always, a lot of platforms offer a lot of, not referrals, but transfer programs early on in the year that just kind of bring people over to their platforms. So that's always a really good time. Here we are in February now, but good time to look at what's out there and could be better than the current platform that you're on. So kind of taking a look at this, if I were to transfer $60,000, let me go swap over to M1 Finance. Okay, there we go. So kind of talking about $60,000 over at M1 Finance, this platform, I have not touched this platform in nearly 2 years. I set it up and forgot about it just in the background. And the last time that we made that video was back on May 9th, right here, of 2023. That was the last date that I posted any content, and the last time I really took a look at this portfolio. I set it up, I set it to auto invest, and just kind of forgot about it, right? So in that time frame, it has climbed nearly $15,000 or so. I can't do that. It looks like the math kind of checks out. So now the account's sitting at nearly $60,000, and if I wanted to roll it over to just get that whatever bonus it was from Robinhood, it was 2%, right? So 2% of 60,000. So I bust out my calculator, add 60,000 plus 2%. That's $1,200 that it would net just by rolling it over to a platform where it would give you 4% on your, it'd be like a high yield savings account at 4%. You'd still continue to have free buys, sells. M1 Finance doesn't allow options on there. M1 Finance, I think I said M1 Finance, but I believe Robinhood does. And then they also offer fractional shares. When taking a look at the M1 Finance, I would probably thin this down even further. I would get rid of Realty Income, Abbey, I'd probably thin down this portfolio much less than what it is now. Right here, there's 8 slices in here. Charles Schwab, the ETF SCHD, takes up over 70% of the total portfolio, with Apple, Waste Management, Main Street Capital, S6 Property Trust, Avery, AbbVie, and Realty Income also in the portfolio. So a lot of these, I could probably thin these out and maybe put them, maybe SCHD, maybe not. I could also consider it into VU or VTI, or have something along those nature. I think SCHD has kind of staggered behind the VU and SPY recently. Just are kind of tracking some of the less risked Dow Jones companies, so they're good for dividends, but not so much for growth. But it wasn't like a big deal. So the last time that we funded this account, as we kind of talked about, was 2022. This account, I kind of set it up here on YouTube as a 5-year plan to kind of showcase what could happen on a weekly contribution basis if you were to just invest. It was $115.38 on a weekly basis, right? This is watching where you go for lunch, making your lunch at home, not going out for coffees every day. That would be $115.38 that you could set aside every single week that you weren't spending for lunch or for whatever we called it, like hobbies and stuff like that, and just instead invested it towards the Roth IRA. So that was $5,500, and then $6,000. I think it bumped up to like $138 and some change. But these are just weekly contributions invested in this portfolio to kind of showcase what could somebody do by just saving a few $100s every week by kind of conserving themselves at over a 5-year period. And this portfolio grew over that 5-year period. It started at 0, and then we slowly added capital in week after week after week. And there were some dips in those times, but we recovered right through those times and then continued chugging higher. So this portfolio I created here on the channel, 7 years ago now? 5 and 2, 7, yes, 7 years ago now. It was created to go, and has been mostly just kind of a passive set and forget. But I kind of want to move it over to another platform to kind of continue taking advantage of those fractional shares, take advantage of options, take advantage of the sweep account. Not that there's going to be a whole lot. I'm sure Robinhood offers dividend reinvestment, so I'll probably end up doing that. And then eventually down the line, in the next 3 to 6 months now, I'll have done the Schwab move and taken advantage of the $1,000 over there, have my capital invested over there. Just check out the platform. If I like it, I'll probably end up staying there. If I find that I'm not enjoying the platform, I'll probably move over to Fidelity. I do use Fidelity for the other accounts, and it's a pretty good platform as well. So yeah, that's kind of the current goals and plans for 2025 in terms of current goals. So number 1, taking a look at M1 Finance. Is that the best platform I can be using, or can I just kind of transfer the money, take advantage of some of the offers that are out there, such with Robinhood, Robinhood Gold, Merrill Edge? I'm not happy with the platform, so I am looking to transfer out of Merrill Edge into Charles Schwab, take advantage of the referral bonus of $1,000, and then maybe eventually end over at Fidelity. Third goal for 2025 is I want to get back into making content, either here on YouTube, over on my website, other my other YouTube channel, creating content as far as like game related content, VODs and of that nature, or starting up other things. I don't know yet. I have a notepad of different ideas and things that I'm kind of working on to build. So we'll kind of see how that all kind of plays out as well. But nothing is fixed at this moment outside of those current financial goals early on, and then once those are in place, then I can kind of continue moving into other ones. So I think that is going to be a good point. We're at 20 minutes right now. So if you guys have any questions or comments for me, let me know down in the comment section below. I do read and reply to every single comment that's out there, whether it's on one of my videos, on one of my posts, or if you guys are just asking a general question, I'll take a look at the question and reply back to you guys as well. And I do think everyone, if you guys have hung out to the very end, go ahead and drop a comment down below saying hashtag stay to the end. I would really appreciate it. And that is going to be it from me. Do appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.